What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Devy Royale YouTube channel. I am your host, Kevin Coleman. And on this episode, we're going to keep going with our Devy Royale in 5 series. And we're going to be looking at, former Ohio State quarterback Quinn Ewers. We know the story about Quinn. He got a $1.4 million NIL deal to go to Ohio State, opt out of his senior season. He did. He went to Ohio State, and Stroud just went off, and so he had to find a new home. And what happened was he found Texas, and he's going to be there with Steve Sarkisian. Texas went 5-7. They were not good last year, and now they're looking for a new kind of face of that program, and that falls on Ewers, and that's going to be a lot of pressure. As we know, Ewers hasn't played since his junior year, since he opted out, and he's only practiced. If you watch the show or you listen to the podcast, you know Jeff Bell, a fellow co-host, believes that Ewers is overrated. Most overrated play in college football is, I believe, what he said in the last podcast. You can fact check me on that if you want. So take out some things on that. But I think that he has a lot of pressure on him. He's one of the most hotly debated quarterbacks, and he hasn't thrown a college pass yet. So what is he going to be? I think that is the question mark. Now, the one thing that you need to understand about Ewers is that he hasn't really played. So this is from his 2020 season. And in that season, in 8 games, he threw for 2,442 yards and 28 touchdowns. He did lead his team to the 6A state championship game. And he looked good. In a playoff game, he famously was 37 for 41, 450 yards and 6 touchdowns on his way there. He was incredible. Now, his sophomore year, when he completed the whole year, he threw 291 passes, or he had completions for 402 passes there. He had 4,000 yards passing and 45 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions his sophomore year. So you can tell where his pedigree is coming from. Now, the thing about him as a thrower, he extends plays. He's pretty good in the pocket. He's got some pretty good functional athleticism. I know 247 Sports kind of borders on, hey, he's kind of a dual threat, but they don't want to really say it. I think he just has good functional athleticism, and he can extend the plays there. He's got a good delivery. He's got a good vertical arm, and when you watch him, he's got that arm strength that you'd like to see there, and he's got good pocket awareness when you watch him play. These are the things that kind of really stand out to me about Ewers as a thrower. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pop on some film from when the last time we saw him play in high school. So when we're looking at this has been a little bit, but you'll see it here. I mean, he's got an effortless delivery, and you'll see that there with his arm strength too. Hits it on the stride there. I like Ewers. And when you watch his tape, though, I mean, there are some things he's got to work on. I think number one thing that I've heard scouts talk about is sometimes his mechanics can get a little wonky, for lack of a better term. He kind of rushes them at all. His release can be a little elongated at times. And I think that's one thing that I saw some scouts talking about, is that the speed at the college level, is he going to be able to move and fix that? Now, I think with coaching, he can. He was at Ohio State. He's learned there. He's going to go to Texas, and I think Sarkisian does a good job, especially with quarterbacks, so he's going to learn that. You will see that he throws behind his receivers at times, and I watched that. I noticed that, not just from this film. You're just watching a 2-minute cut up of highlights, but there were times that you can feel that, like, hey, maybe he was trying to do a little bit too much, and also timing seemed off. Now, whether that was offense, whether that was because he's a junior in high school, there's a lot of things there, but you can tell what he can do. Gets it out to his receivers quick. He's got the arm strength for it, and you'll find him here. Again, he knows where he's going to go. He reads pretty well. This is where you get that dual threat thing. I don't know if he's fast, but he's definitely kind of got like that Sam Howell. Hey, can he extend plays and get out of the pocket here? You'll see it here under duress, gets it out quick. I think one of the areas that I like to highlight is just his pocket awareness and his pocket presence. Even though when he's getting pressured, he's able to get it to the guys, get it to the sidelines, and get it out quickly. Like, those are the things that you like to see from Ewers. Other than that, as someone who watches film, he's got a big, where's he going to be? Because when you're looking at him, he's getting drafted very high. We'll talk about where his ADP is right now. Can he elevate himself into that top echelon of quarterbacks? It is interesting right now in terms of quarterbacks and where people are going. And so I think that with Ewers, it's a little bit of a risk to get him in the first, but you're basically drafting based on expectations, right? And that's where he's going right now. He's a first-round quarterback right now. In the draft that I'm doing right now currently as just a mock draft, he went at the 109. And so you're looking at him, and according to ADP, and a lot of the ADP that I've seen so far in the offseason, now it's still super early, so I want to preface this by saying we are still talking about early ADP. He is actually the second quarterback taken in a lot of leagues. I've seen him get taken over Stroud in a couple of leagues, which is interesting. You're basically going off of talent there. I wouldn't do that, in my opinion, but I've seen it. Now, I've also seen him maybe going for QB4. And so it's usually Young, Stroud, Williams, and Ewers in that area. Where would I draft him? I'm probably going to draft him behind Young and Stroud. And depending on Williams, I'm probably not going to draft Ewers in the first round. just because I feel like it's quarterbacks, especially in Devy, even in C2C, is kind of a reach. But if you are, you're based on talent. I don't hate it. I just wonder, let's see him throw a few passes in college football. I think that's the key there. Now, as far as Texas goes, you know what? When you're looking at what they've been able to do, they've filled in pretty good around him. Isaiah Neyor from Wyoming, transfer wide receivers coming in. We'll talk about him on the show a little bit later in another episode. You're going to look at Xavier Worthy. He's got weapons around him. He obviously has Bijan Robinson. He's going to have Jaden Blue. He's going to have people there. So will those weapons be able to fill in with him? I think they will. It'll be interesting to see where Texas goes. I made the joke that they'll never win more than 8 games anyway. We'll see if they prove me wrong. But it just feels like that. But in a pro spread offense, especially with Sark, I think Ewers has a chance to really be good. So we appreciate you guys tuning into this quick video on the channel. Please hit that sub button. Hit the sub button for our podcast. We've seen a lot of growth on there. We really appreciate that. So until next time, we'll see you guys later.